Hey, welcome to Tech Time, part number 2, compressor saving methods and products. Thanks for joining, and we'll get the program going. Getting most from any of our webinars, you can take some notes. You can get some important questions answered by giving us an email or giving us a call. You can see the sign up again for some more training sessions that we have coming up, more Tech Times as well. Please follow the website above and get signed up. This is who I am, Jim Stradlin, a technical service specialist with Enertech. My information is on there. If you need to ask any questions for me or send me an email, gladly to help you out, as well as our rest of our team specialists are available to answer questions also. Enertech Tech Time is hosted by Enertech University and Enertech USA. Some links here that you can go to their YouTube at Enertech University or YouTube at Enertech MFG to see these programs and other trainings that have already been recorded for your viewing. Today I want to talk a little bit about some compressor failures and some of the reasons for why they fail. Electricity, is probably the biggest proponent of problems. Contactors, as we all know, welded contact points cause a compressor to run without being able to shut down on safeties. Capacitors, obviously if they're bad, we know that the amp draw of a compressor goes way up, and so they're running out of its normal amp ratings and creates hardships on the compressors as well. Wire connections, bad connections, loose connections tend to heat up, turn wires darker colors, and also reduce the voltage on one of the legs going into the compressor. So they're very important. Circuit breakers are really important to find out as well. I've seen bad loose connections, burnt connections in the breaker panel at a circuit breaker, creating poor voltage to the unit as well. Not always visible when you check it when it's not running, the voltage is there, but trust me, you could have problems. So checking the electrical panel at the circuit breaker is also a very good thing to remember. We also know, obviously, you can have mechanical failure parts. Expansion valves go bad, reversing valves could go bad, solenoid valves could go bad, causing these compressors to not run in their operating parameters, creating more problems. Refrigerant lines, loss of refrigerant, the slow death of a compressor can happen as well. So always check and make sure that your lines are touching or rubbing. Capillary lines aren't rubbing on electrical wires inside as well. Obviously, maintenance. We have a lot of customers and people that don't maintain their equipment annually to check things out. So again, that's where some of these other components come into play with of causing the problems. So it's good to check all these components when you're there doing maintenance programs and make sure everything is operating good. We also know that the system could have been designed improperly from the beginning. It could be installed improperly from the beginning. So some of the engineering or design features may not have been appropriate for the size of the house or the home or the building, and could also lead to premature failures of compressors. Ductwork zoning is another interesting one. If you had a two-stage compressor system, and I would say one of the zones is only partially open and the compressor is running full speed instead of dropping into part load, can create some issues of flooding back refrigerant to the system too as well. So always make sure your zoning programming in the zone panel is done properly according to the equipment that you have. So if you do have a compressor, that's burnt out or bad, I should say, I always recommend checking with some form of an acid test kit to make sure that there's no acid in the system, how bad it is. This is very used after the compressor's been changed and ran too, to double check to make sure you got it all cleaned up. One thing that Emerson Copeland recommend that a suction filter be added to the refrigeration compressor replacement. And always there's not a lot of room in our units, but this particular suction filter style, as you can see, is very small and compact and has a better probability of fitting inside of a cabinet. I got some dimensions here to show you this particular one. If you look at the far width of it here, only under 4.5 inches, so you get very small space it can fit, and actually only needs about 3 inches for where the copper tubing pipes will go in. So keep this in mind. These are designed for acid removal and moisture removal, especially designed for after a burnout of a compressor. Many manufacturers make them, so they're available through wholesalers all over the country. At this time, it's a good thing to add if you can fit one in. HH, one interesting thing a lot of people don't know, if you see this BOK-HH, happens to be an Emerson burnout filter dryer. The HH designates, has activated carbon inside of it, the blended solid core, to help clean up systems following a severe burnout. So filter dryers are manufactured by different many manufacturers as well. I have a couple examples here, but I want you to pay attention that Emerson does not make a HH yet for geothermal heat pump or air source heat pumps in the HH category. So I've always used to use a company by the name of Sporlan, now merged with Parker. So they make an HH reversible biflow filter dryer, and there are some other brands out there that probably make that kind of a dryer as well. But it's a good insurance to use an HH filter dryer on a compressor burnout. When you're brazing, we're going to make sure you prevent oxidation in the system. That's just why the new refrigerants really recommend going with a nitrogen purge while you're brazing. It displaces the oxygen and helps prevent any scale forming. So my next slide, I'm going to show you, if you don't use nitrogen, what it looks like inside. As you can see on the slide, it's pretty well black inside there where you didn't have any nitrogen flowing. So eventually your welds, all that soot and stuff flows in through the system, and hopefully it's all caught by the filter dryer before it gets into the expansion valve or the suction filter. So again, more contamination just makes the longevity of the compressor a lot less. So use the proper tools. Cleaning of the system up is imperative when you are replacing a compressor. When you're restarting the compressor after you've done all the change out, again, it doesn't hurt to double check your electrical components, check your wire tightness connections. If you have a forced air unit, make sure the blower speeds are set appropriately to the system design. Check your wires, look at your refrigerant lines again. You've been in there welding and moving things around, make sure the capillary tubes aren't hitting any wires, nothing's rubbing. And I guess it's really important to start your units in cooling first, even if you're in the heating season. We want the refrigerant to go through the filter dryer before it gets to the TXV. So always start everything in the cooling mode first anytime you change a compressor or on the startup of a new system. And also, we have the warranty technical analysis forms available on through us or in the manuals. And they also have an equipment checkup form available that you can fill in the numbers and do the multiplications to get your heat of rejection, heat of extraction, and compare your notes with the manufacturer specifications to make sure that heat pump is running the way it was designed to. Very, very important. So I guess that's a short period of time telling you what I know. I'd like to introduce you to our team of technical specialists that you guys may call in, never get to see who they are. So I thought I'd share their faces with you today. And remember, we're all here to answer questions for you and to help make your systems run better. And appreciate giving us a call. So today, thanks again for attending and watching this. As you can see, you get Intertech University. There's more trainings, more recordings, and you can submit questions even through technical services at intertechgeo.com. And this program and other ones are recorded and are available on our YouTube channel. So thank you all for attending today, and look forward to seeing you next month.